What should sellers know about today's market? Well, you're going to find that out today as we get into today's Inside Abode and this week's episode. So, welcome. As you already know, subscribe. Before we get into that, I'm going to talk about all the things I usually do. So, subscribe to the podcast, please. You'll get gems, you'll get all kinds of things. We're here for you. Like, that's the whole point. We do this for you. We do this hopefully. And so, if you have any information or if you have any like questions or if you have any topics you'd like us to cover, like, please, email davidjones@windermere.com. So email me if you have anything you'd like me to talk about or like us to cover on the show. Feel free. Or if you have any guests that you'd like to be on the show, if you have a community member you'd like to be on the show, if you have an organization you'd like to be on the show, tap in, please. We'd love to hear from you. So what should sellers know? Well, first of all, they should know that they can go to windermereabode.com to find all of our people and all of our listings that we have, buyers and sellers alike. So go ahead and take a look at that. And if you want to take a look at abodecrush.com, you can crush, do a little dating app action and crush on some houses too, and figure out the type of house that you like. So let's get into our guest today. So my guest today has been with Windermere, actually has been in real estate for 10 years, has been with Windermere Abode for 9 years at Abode, lives with Patches, loves her dog Patches. She is the mother of a recent graduate, which has taken most of her time this year. And she likes to work in her community with Step by Step and Treehouse and things like that. And she's just all around a good, fun person to have in your orbit. Ladies and gentlemen, Shelley Heck, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
So how's it going? What's new with you?
Going good. What's new? Well, like you said, I got a kid that just graduated high school, so that's taken up a lot this year. So she goes up to college in September. And I mean, real estate's been busy. I know, kind of hear a little bit of everything about, is it busy? Is it not? Things are slow. I haven't seen the slow this year. It
Really?
has been a busy year for, yeah, listings for sure. Like I started out the year just, lots of listings, very, very blessed to have people that trust me to list and get their homes marketed and sold. But now I'm starting to see more buyers. So, which is great. I love that too, but definitely seeing kind of a shift, and that's keeping me busy for sure. Keeping
Okay.
up. Mhm.
Yeah. So basically, like right now for sellers, it's interesting. You've had a lot of listings this year. So what do you want? What do you think sellers should understand about like the market dynamics right now?
Well, having someone in your corner, having an agent that knows the market that you're selling in, like knows it well, has a good relationship with other agents in the area. So that, I mean, I do think strategy is a huge thing right now. It's not just about putting a sign in your front yard and thinking you're going to get multiple offers. So a strategy is a big thing. And to do that and to strategize, you have to have somebody that knows the market that you're in really well. And what I mean by relationships is I have definitely learned this year, I kind of knew this, but I put it into action a lot, is that when you call and you reach out to the buyer agents who have shown the house, like share the details of the home, let them know what is offered so they can share that with their buyer. But knowing not just the house, but like the whole community around it, because that's really what buyers are buying, right? Not just the home, but the community, school districts, parks, lake. I live in Lake Tap, so lake access is a huge thing for us. Yeah. So strategy is a big thing.
Yeah, I think that that's an interesting, like you bring up a great point about like knowing the community around you because there's a
Mhm.
big conversation about AI and all this other kind of stuff, which is fine. Like I'm not saying that that's not a resource that people can use, but AI is not a human being that lives in the community. You know what I mean? And so I think
Yeah,
that
definitely.
there's an element to this work and the service that we provide that is far more than just data points and like the house. And so I thank you for bringing that up. That's a really important piece.
And I will say too, I don't want to just like, harp on community is huge, knowing the area and what it offers. But like I said, you can't just put your house on the market and think it's going to sell. Like price is everything right now. Because I
Mm,
would imagine that if a seller is selling right now, it's probably been 4, 5, 6 years or more since they've sold. And it's such a different seller's market now. So
right.
knowing how the prices have adjusted and being realistic and being flexible is, a pretty big piece of that, and making sure the house stands out and is marketed well.
Yeah, you mentioned adjustments. What kind of adjustments are we talking about? Like if a seller's listening right now, like and
Yeah.
they're maybe sitting on a home that's been on the market for a minute, what type of adjustments would are that you've seen with all of your listings that you've had to make?
Definitely, we're seeing price adjustments happen. And I think that's what I mean when I'm talking like flexibility. So
Mm,
when a seller is, getting ready to sell and you sit down with your agent and you have that really candid conversation about price and being flexible, like trying to like be one up from the next one and be like, well, let's try it at this price, even though we think it's a little high. It's not the right strategy in this market any longer. You got to align with the other homes in the area that are selling around that price point. Remodels, like if a home is selling for 850 and it's been completely remodeled and yours hasn't and you're trying to sell it for 850 just because it's the same square
mm,
footage, those are things that are just going to keep your house sitting on the market longer because
right.
buyers have so many choices right now, which we're so excited about that for buyers because we're like, oh my gosh, like thank God you guys have choices, and you can sleep on it and you can negotiate an inspection and it's great. But sellers really should be aware that we are in more of a balanced market, and balance is good. But it just takes some education because if you haven't sold for 5 to 10 years, it's like a whole different world out there.
Right.
And just having somebody that knows the area and knows how to explain that and not overwhelm you and still have fun because it can be fun, and just yeah. So
Yeah,
know your
it's
area. Get
the
a
pricing.
local agent. That is what I'm saying.
Mm, yeah, for real. Like, yeah, that's because we were talking about that at AFC yesterday. We were talking about pricing and people wanting to know the price, and and it's just kind of like, well, it depends because like even if you want to know the price right now, it might not be the price in 3 months. Like we
Right.
can't tell the future of whatever market we're going to be in, but the market that we're in right now, just like you said, is not the market from 5 to 10 years ago. Like so, or even
Mhm.
3 6 months ago. Like so, yeah, I think those are great points. What does the buyer activity feel like to you? Like, do you feel like buyers are out there,
Well, yeah. I
like
mean,
circling the
buyers are
wagons and
things are selling. I mean, we're seeing pending list or pendings go up. We're seeing a little bit like not as many listings. We're seeing that slow down just a tad bit. But when we still see pendings go up, that means buyers are out there and they have options and they are all about the value of a home right now. And when you had an interest rate of 2 to 3%, it was easier to compete or not compete, but it was easier to escalate and be like, okay, well, I can go 50,000 over my budget because the rates are low. I can fix
yeah,
that kitchen or I can replace that sewer line because the rates are low and it's just not like that
mm,
anymore. And I don't think 6% is terrible. Like if we're going to live in 6% for a bit, I don't think that's terrible because we're seeing the prices adjust to
right.
come down to meet that. So, man, I know that if you got your house listed and it looks great and you've got the repairs done as much as you can, you price it right, that's what buyers are looking for. That is, they want value for their money right now.
Have you seen anything regarding like buyers that get cold feet or what or keeping them what is keeping buyers from writing offers right now? Like let's say you do have a listing that's like great because I mean like we have a lot of listings right now, not a lot, but I mean we have listings right now that are just great. You're like, man, this is gonna be a good house for somebody, but for whatever reason, they're not jumping yet. Do you know what's keeping people from writing offers?
I mean, I can only go based off my own recent experience. And I mean, I'll give one example that very recently, I mean, I had a listing in Sumner that was like the cutest, most dialed in craftsman. Everybody loves an old craftsman in downtown Sumner, right? Walkable to Main Street, beautiful. But there was a lot to choose from. And what my client's home did not have was an extra bathroom at that price point.
Mm,
And
yep.
so this home had a bathroom or a third or a second bathroom, and that one had a half bath and it was similar price. And all the feedback was, we love it, but we just need that extra bathroom. And so it has to have everything that the buyers are looking for because like again, they have choices. And if it doesn't have it, then you've got to align the price to match what the buyers are telling us, right? So if they're like,
Mm,
okay, well, the bathroom's worth 25 grand, then the price needed to come down 25 grand, so to speak.
right.
So,
Yeah.
but sometimes that can't happen. And sometimes, we've got to be able to adjust different ways, but it's buyers are looking for things that are dialed in. It's move-in ready, turnkey. Yeah. I mean, labor and materials are expensive right now. So if you got to do too much, it kind of can maybe, too much work, too much remodeling, repairs, things like that. It can kind of turn a buyer off.
Yeah. Like the thing that I think you just said, like, well, I think it was the last question, but like the rates being higher. And so people not having that flexibility with the rates being lower to do some of that extra, deferred maintenance or whatever, like the projects, not being as willing to take those on when the rates are high. I think that's such a poignant, like for sellers, that's a huge piece of information because like that's real. I talked to someone the other day and, like, well, I'm going to ask you about contingents next, and but like they're just saying, like, yeah, it's hard to even fathom like selling our house. We have a 3% rate, like, and I was like, man,
Right.
I totally get it, like, but they're in a they're probably in a conundrum, just trying to say, oh, should we move? We need to make a move, but we don't know if we want to. Things are fine, like that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
there's other needs that they have. So, have you seen any contingent situations with people? Or is that something that's out there right now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see more contingencies. I have some clients right now who had a contingent offer accepted, and
Mm,
it's pending contingent right now. And my clients have their home on the market, and it is in a conversation we had 2 days ago. We said, okay, if we're gonna do this, and the seller accepts your contingent offer, let's have a plan. In 2 weeks, if we
right,
don't have an offer, then 2 weeks, we're going to talk about what has to happen. And we've had enough activity in the area in 2 weeks that we know we have to align that price to get their home sold, or they're going to miss out on the one that they want. Right.
right,
So,
right.
yeah. So it's just having a strong, like a really good pulse on the market if you're going to go contingent. But people are doing it. Sellers are accepting contingent offers because they want to move on too. And yeah,
Yeah, having a plan is important though, because of the balance of the market and people not like understanding that it's a balanced market. It's going to take time. It depends on the property. I think so. As an agent, are you really like if you do have if you are in a contingent situation, how invested are you in the other side? The contingent property being sold. Like, how invested are you in that? Like, are you checking in with that agent? Like, because that's a whole
oh, for
nother
sure.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the agent that I'm in my clients are, I'm the cross agent, the listing agent for the house that my clients are pending on. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, Shelley, like, how are showings this week?
yeah,
Are we getting close to an offer? What's the plan? I need to
yeah,
tell my sellers, how it's going over there." So he's been great, and I feel like I would do the same because if I'm going to advise my clients to accept a really good contingent offer, and I'm like, "Yeah, take it, like, that sounds good." Then I am following up. I am like, I'm gonna become, like, their next best friend, and so, yeah, and I would probably before I would take my clients, my seller clients to the contingent property, and I would have all of us put our eyes on it before we accept that offer and say, "Hey,
yeah.
like, what does this look like? How are you pricing it? Because we wanna know it's priced right for the quality if we accept your contingent offer."
Right.
So
No, that's great. That's great information right there. So, sellers, I hope you're listening. That this is all really good information. We're gonna get. I know you need to get out of there. You actually need to go do some work.
Good
But
point.
before we get out, I have five
Yeah,
questions for you. They're really quick. You just got to answer
okay.
one or the other. That's really it.
Oh
You
my
ready?
gosh. Like, I wasn't prepared for these.
It's
I don't know
okay.
what these are. These weren't on the list?
I know they're not, but they're fun
Jeez,
questions. All
okay.
right, reality TV marathon or true crime documentary binge?
True crime.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Would you rather live 1 week in a Barbie pent dream house or Fresh Prince of Bel Air mansion?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Wow, okay. Would you rather have Taylor Swift as your business manager or Snoop Dogg as your life coach?
That's a tough one. I love them both. No, I love Taylor Swift, but I'm gonna say I would want Snoop to be my life coach. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I did have to think about it. Sorry, Taylor.
No, that's good. All right. So this is the last one. This tells me a lot about somebody. What's your peanut butter to jelly sandwich ratio? Is it 70% jelly, 30% peanut butter, or vice versa, or 50-50? What's your ratio look
It's
like?
probably 60% peanut butter, 40% jelly.
Man. All right. It's
I mean, if
okay.
it doesn't stick to the roof of your mouth, what are we even doing?
Really? Wow. Yeah, I'm a jelly person. I'm a jelly person. I apologize. I'm a 60%. I'd probably be opposite. But
I mean,
also, have you
I'll eat peanut butter off the spoon though. So there's that.
pro tip too, toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are like life-giving. So if you ain't done that
They
yet,
are.
tap in. All right. So how do people get in touch with you if they want to know more? If they're a seller or they're in Lake Taps or they're in the Sumner area or they're anywhere, how do
Yeah.
they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram, Shelley Heck Real Estate. You can find me on Facebook, same, Shelley Heck Real Estate. Let's see, Shelley Heck Real Estate at windermere.com, or you can give me a call. So text is
All right.
great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And we'll have your information down in the comments. So with
Thanks.
that, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll be with y'all next week again with more information. But yeah, tap in with Shelley if you have any more questions about seller, or if you're a seller or a buyer and you have more questions about the real estate market or anything like that. So with that,
Yeah.
we'll see y'all next
All
time.
right.
Peace.
Thanks, Dave. Have a good weekend.
You're welcome. You too. All right. So